Welcome, crypto fam, and happy Valentine's Day. Thank God, no massacre. In today's show, Bitcoin price returns to $22,000 despite the least volatile US CPI reaction. That's right, the latest CPI data shows only 6.4%. Also in today's show, Paxos categorically disagrees with the SEC that BUSD is a security. Also, Binance withdrawals and BUSD redemptions surge post Paxos crackdown. I'll be breaking down the latest, as well as Bitcoin hitting a new record of 44 million non-zero addresses thanks to Ordinals. I'll be sharing this latest report by Glassnode Analytics. Also in today's show, big news, crypto payments firm Wirex and Visa expand their partnership to 40 countries, mass adoption. Let's go. We'll also be discussing the Blockstream CEO Adam Back saying Bitcoin could explode to a $200 trillion market cap by 2032. I'll be breaking down why, along with his $10 million Bitcoin price prediction. And as a bonus, we're going to be discussing Max Keiser on how he bought Bitcoin for only $1 back in 2011 and why Bitcoin is like the Mona Lisa. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. And welcome everyone tuning in. This is pod episode number 1194. I'm your host, JV. Happy Valentine's Day. Taking a look at the markets, as you can see here, pumpage. We got Bitcoin up 2%, trading back above $22,000. And as soon as the CPI data was released, markets started pumping. Ether up 4%, trading back above $1,550. Binance Coin, after a lot of wreckage yesterday, it's back to trading around $300, up about 3% for the day. And Solana and Cardano and Matic are amongst the top gainers. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we can see we're still sitting above that $1 trillion milestone with about 56 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 41.6%, with the Ether dominance at 18.5%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, GMX up 21.5%, trading at 75 bucks, followed by AGIX up 18.5%, trading under 43 cents, followed by Onyx Coin up 16.5%, trading at 1.7 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, we got BGB up 88%, Baby Doge up 27%, and Rose up 20%, as the majority of the alts have pulled back this week and currently correcting and in the red. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators, we're currently dead in the middle with a 50, which is neutral. Yesterday was a 48, last week a 54, and last month a 52, which is neutral. And again, happy Valentine's Day to each and every one of you. Will Bitcoin be your Valentine? Let me know. And how many of you took advantage of the recent dip? Holla at your boy. And with that being shared, let's dive right into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Bitcoin ticked above 22,000 after the February 14th Wall Street Open as U.S. inflation data delivered mixed results. That's right. Data from Cointelegraph Market Support and Trading View followed Bitcoin as it tested multi-week lows twice on the hourly timeframes before reversing upwards. Bitcoin saw flash volatility in line with predictions as January's CPI numbers hit, something repeated at the start of trading on Wall Street, and still within a tight trading range. Bitcoin's reaction was in fact fairly muted, with up and down moves only involving several hundreds of dollars at a time. That reflected the CPI data itself, which broadly conformed to market expectations. A moderate exception was year on year, which ran hot at 0.2% above the envisaged 6.2%. Quoting economist Holger, U.S. inflation mix, markets commentator Holger shared, U.S. inflation mix, January CPI was inclined with Wall Street on MOM basis, coming in up 0.5% headline and up 0.4% core, and on a year-to-year basis, things ran a bit hot, coming in at 6.4% headline, down from 6.5% in December, but ahead of ST's 6.2% and 5.6% core, down from 5.7%, but ahead of ST's 5.5%. Now, crypto circles also noted the lack of panic, which accompanied the crypto market's reaction, quoting Game Trades. This looks to be one of the least volatile market reactions to US CPI since 2022. And with few cues coming from the macro, Bitcoin traders thus look to potential range highs and lows that determine future short-term price action. Quoting Crypto Chase, tight daily range at the moment. I think we eventually interact with both red and box and liquidity below. I'd be watching for shorts from the red box and for longs after sweeping 20,300 liquidity. And fellow trader Scoo added the following: Bitcoin, perp, CBD buckets, and delta orders. Market is definitely biased to holding short positions. And prior to that, monitoring resource material indicators had revealed whales are setting up what is likened to be a trap for retail investors. Quoting him here, Fire chart shows Bitcoin whales trying to lure retail in at the higher levels ahead of the CPI as purple whales sell into the retail bid liquidity. Also note that the buy wall has returned to the 24.4 range and 2 levels. If the 6 million up top gets hit, I expect the lower 18 million to rug. And on equities, a similar lackluster response to CPI saw the S&P 500 and NASDAQ index both open flat. And as you can see here, the US dollar index, a keen focus for some of the run up to a week of macro data releases, briefly spiked above 103.5 before returning base. Quoting Crypto Ed, I said to keep an eye on the DXY. It almost hit the green box and bounced in case it starts moving higher. Bearish crypto, in my opinion. However, the markets are obviously pumping and like this information on the latest CPI data, so send it. Hopefully 30,000 is a magnet and we could surpass this 25,000 resistance, which we have been stuck at for quite some time. And with that being shared, now let's dive into the latest saga with Paxos versus the SEC, shall we? Paxos Trust Company says it categorically disagrees with the United States securities regulator that has described Binance USD as a security. In a February 13th statement, the BUSD issuer confirmed recent reports that it had reviewed a Wells notice from the US SEC over BUSD and its alleged failure to register the offering under federal security laws. Quoting them here, and Paxos remains dedicated to the development of stablecoins, tokenization, and blockchain tech. Will continue serving the world's most respected and established companies to create a more open financial system. Paxos categorically disagrees with the SEC staff because BUSD is not a security under the federal securities law, Paxos said. The firm noted it received the notice February 3rd, adding that they are unequivocally no other allegations against Paxos. Quoting them here, we will engage with the SEC staff on this issue and be prepared to vigorously litigate if necessary. So February 13th, the New York Department of Financial Services ordered Paxos to halt the issuance of BUSD. Paxos says it will comply, tweeting February 13th that it will halt the minting of new BUSD tokens effective February 21st, 7 days from today. Quoting them here, Paxos will continue to manage all outstanding BUSD reserves, ensuring all BUSD are always back one-to-one with the US dollar denominated reserves held in bankruptcy remote accounts. However, Paxos said that BUSD will remain fully supported and redeemable to onboard customers through at least February of 2024. Quoting them here, new and existing Paxos customers will be able to redeem their funds in US dollars or convert their BUSD tokens to Pax dollar, which is USDP, a regulated US dollar-backed stablecoin also issued by Paxos. Now, New York State Department of Financial Services reportedly received a complaint from stablecoin issuer Circle. That's right, Circle blew the whistle on Paxos. Interesting, regarding Binance's reserves prior to its crackdown on BUSD. Now, the Binance CEO, CZ, says the exchange will continue to support BUSD despite issuer Paxos being ordered to stop minting the stablecoin by the US SEC and New York regulators. So there you have it. What are your thoughts? Do you think BUSD will be deemed a security, or do you think the SEC once again is overreaching and it can backfire on the corrupt organization? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. But with all of that going on, there's been mass withdrawals from BUSD, which is not a good look for the stablecoin, as a lot of it now is going into Tether USDT. So now let's break this down, shall we? Crypto exchange Binance has seen a surge of withdrawals over the last 24 hours as investors appear to be spooked over the recent news of regulatory action against Paxos and its stablecoin Binance USD. At the same time, the BUSD token recorded significant redemptions with 342 million BUSD burned over the past 24 hours, according to PeckShield. Quoting them here, 342 million of BUSD has been burned at Paxos Treasury within the last 24 hours. And on February 12th, news broke that the US SEC gave notice of potential enforcement action against Paxos. It alleged that the stablecoin is an unregistered security, an assertion that Paxos denies. Data compiled from the blockchain intelligence platform Nansen shows that Binance recorded 24-hour multi-chain token net outflows of a whopping $788.5 million, caused by outflows of $2.7 billion, exceeding inflows of around $1.97 billion. And according to Dune Analytics, it's the largest 24-hour net outflow since December of 17th, when Binance Proof of Reserve audits were removed from auditor Mazar's website. A spokesperson for Binance told Cointelegraph that funds are safe, backed by a secure asset fund for users, echoing what the Binance chief CZ said back in earlier, February 13th. The spokesperson added that the exchange recently had a sell-off with more than $1 billion withdrawn in a 12-hour period, which it claims was managed with ease. Quoting them here, "We run a very simple business model, hold assets in custody, and generate revenue from transaction fees," Binance said. "We take our responsibility as a custodian seriously and maintain 1-1 backing for every user asset." And following the SEC's action and a reported tip-off from USD Coin issuer Circle, the New York Department of Financial Services ordered Paxos to halt the issuance of BUSD on February 13th. The outflows and token burns seemingly are a response to those events, with crypto users cashing out of the stablecoin over fears of further regulatory action. Binance's reserves harbor the largest amount of BUSD, holding almost $14.5 billion worth of the stablecoin, which is around 90% of the $16.1 billion current market cap. This crypto exchange has also around $60 billion worth of reserves, with 22% of that made up in BUSD. So as you can see, this can drastically impact the greater good of the crypto market. How do you feel it's likely to play out? And at this point, do you have any trust in BUSD? What stablecoins do you trust the most? Could it be Circle's USDC, Tether's USDT, or maybe one we didn't discuss today, such as DAI's? There's a lot of different options out there, but let me know, and be careful and do not keep your crypto on the exchanges during these extreme times we're experiencing in crypto right now. But now let's discuss a new record being made, which I love to see. We now have 44 million active Bitcoin addresses. And when I say active, I should say non-zero Bitcoin addresses. So let's break this down before we discuss the Visa partnership, followed by a $10 million Bitcoin price prediction. The launch of Bitcoin NFTs, known as Ordinals, has tipped the number of non-zero Bitcoin addresses to a new all-time high of 44 million. Let's go. According to crypto analytics firm Glassnode, in a February 13th report from Glassnode, the firm explained that for the first time in Bitcoin's 14-year history, a portion of the network activity is being used for purposes other than peer-to-peer monetary Bitcoin transfers. Quoting them here, "This is a new and unique moment in Bitcoin history where an innovation is generating network activity without a classical transfer of coin volume for monetary purposes. Personally, I think this is a great indicator for mass adoption." Glassnode explained that the Ordinals surge has contributed to a short-term uptick in the Bitcoin network usage of late, which has brought many new active users with a non-zero Bitcoin balance to the network. Check it out. Numbers don't lie. You can see the new all-time high in non-zero balances, with Bitcoin addresses surpassing 44 million for the first time. Now, quoting Glassnode, the primary source of this activity is due to Ordinals, which instead of carrying a large payload of coin volume, is instead carrying a larger payload of data and new active users. This describes a growth in a user base from usage beyond the typical investment and monetary transfer use cases, it added. Now, Glassnode noted that Ordinals is now competing for block space demand, which is creating upward pressure on the free market, but noted that this hasn't led to a significant increase in Bitcoin transaction fees. According to Glassnode, since Ordinals launched January 21st, the upper range of the mean Bitcoin block size has increased from 1.5 to 2 megabytes to 3 to 3.5 megabytes in just a matter of weeks. However, this hasn't led to a surge in fees, which is where we have seen some short-lived spikes. Glassnode stated that a new lower bound transaction fee required for block inclusion has been reached since Ordinals made their mark January 21st. The technological applications behind the Ordinal protocol were enabled by the Taproot soft fork, which took effect back in November of 2021. Bitcoin Ordinals launched on January 21st, and through the use of Ordinals numbering scheme, Bitcoin users can assign arbitrary content to Satoshis, the smallest denomination of Bitcoin, which enables them to inscribe Bitcoin native NFTs like images. There have been over 78,400 NFT-like images and videos inscribed thus far, and these numbers are growing quite fast. Now, some notable Bitcoiners such as Blockstream CEO Adam Back have recently recently expressed their dislike for the Ordinals protocol, suggesting that it deviates from Bitcoin's purpose as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. But let me know your thoughts. Others have been more open to the idea. We got Bitcoin bull Dan Held. He asserted on several occasions that Ordinals bring more financial use cases to the king crypto. So there you have it. And how many of you are into NFTs or have ever put your NFT on the Bitcoin blockchain, or if you have plans on doing so? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And now let's discuss this major Visa partnership, which is pretty cool. And then we'll dive into Adam Back's $200 trillion and $10 million Bitcoin price prediction, market cap, and the Bitcoin price action. So now let's break down this partnership, shall we? Crypto payments app Wirex has signed a long-term global partnership with Visa to expand its footprint in Asia Pacific and the UK, according to an announcement on Monday. The announcement builds on two companies' existing relationship of a crypto-linked Visa debit card in the U.S. and Wirex holding principal membership status with Visa in Europe. In 2015, according to Wirex, it became the first company in the world to develop a crypto-enabled card that allowed users to buy or sell multiple traditional and cryptocurrencies. And with the expansion of the London-based Wirex, which has over 5 million customers, will now be able to directly issue crypto-enabled debit and prepaid cards to over 40 countries. Let's go. While it's the largest customer base in the UK, Wirex had previously withdrawn from the UK Financial Conduct Authority temporary registration regimen ahead of the deadline to obtain full registration, which meant it would serve UK-based customers via a subsidiary license in Croatia. Quoting them here, Visa wants to bring more payment options to consumers by connecting digital currencies with our network of banks and merchants, said Matt Wood, head of the digital partnerships in the Asia Pacific. Visa. So there you have it. I just hope some of this adoption finally comes to the United States, because it seems like everything is happening everywhere in the world, minus the United States, thanks to Gary Gensler and the crypto crackdown by the SEC. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I just know the more people enabled to make, or use or buy or sell crypto, the greater for the overall crypto adoption as a whole. But now let's dive into a $10 million Bitcoin price prediction. Then I'm going to be giving you a bonus story of when and how Max purchased Bitcoin back when it was only $1 back in 2011. But let's start with this $10 million price prediction by Adam Back with a $200 trillion market cap. The Blockstream CEO and Bitcoin advocate Adam Back says that the next flagship crypto asset can explode to a $200 trillion market cap in the next 9 years, meaning the price tag of a Bitcoin would be 10 million per BTC. In a new thread, Back says that based on historical performance, Bitcoin is still on track to continue its trend of rallying an average price of 100% per year. Send it. Quoting him here, earlier this year, I was curious of the claim Bitcoin's 2x per year on average. It checks. The decade January 2013 to December 2022, Bitcoin went up 2.036x per year, which is 1200x in a decade. If that continues, we'll cross 10 million per Bitcoin and a 200 trillion market cap by the end of the next two halvings in about 9 years. 200 trillion is a Hal Finney 2009 market cap prediction number. It is a lot. It displaces a significant part of the store value premiums in bonds, real estate monetary premium, gold, 60/40 stock portfolios, etc. Something adoption will slow, derivatives reduce volatility, and the veteran Bitcoiner and Hashcash inventor says the Bitcoin doesn't necessarily need to see $100 trillion flow into it in order to reach the same market cap due to illiquid markets and the tendency for Bitcoin investors to long-term hodl their coins. Quoting him here, also bear in mind, Bitcoin does not have to absorb anywhere near $100 trillion to reach that market cap due to relative thin trading and hodl/cold storage investors. That's what's up. If Bitcoin really gets moving, it will become harder to get anyone to sell, have to pry it out of their cold wallets. Facts. And given the volatility, I think Bitcoin can overshoot widely and tap one of these $100 to $300 trillion market caps, correct, and then regain a steadier adoption over time. I suspect people with average entry points relative to then current price won't have much incentive to sell in size. So with the current price action, he's ultimately predicting a 46,000% rally for the king crypto to hit a 200 trillion market cap. Let me know if you agree or disagree that this can be a potential possibility in the next 9 years. And with that being shared, now for our bonus story before we dive into some live Q&A, let's discuss Max Keiser purchasing Bitcoin back in 2011. That's right. Keiser is a well-known American broadcaster doing massive things right now in El Salvador and talking about the current U.S. and global economic situation and more specifically, the COVID role in it. Keiser said that the virus is nature fighting back against the virus of humans. He used the personification of the earth from the Greek mythology, Gaia, to add to his point, but concluded he doesn't think ultimately she'll win against the human virus. As reported, the NASDAQ and all the speculation going on in the market. But let's actually quote Max Keiser directly. Just note that this article is dated a while back July of 2020. So keep that in mind that this is a throwback, but still very relevant. Like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, and Iran, NASDAQ is higher as confidence in the USD collapses. Safe haven money is seeking shelter in stocks, gold, and Bitcoin, pretty much in alignment with what I shared in the previous episodes with Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad. Now, Keiser said he heard about Bitcoin back in 2011 and started accumulating at $1 at the time. Keiser noted Bitcoin's digital scarcity attracted him the most as he invented digital scarcity and commercial prediction markets in 1996. Many of you didn't know that. Bitcoin does what my patent does, but with incredible elegance. It is the Mona Lisa of money. It is self-aware. It's observing us, and it's channeling God. One of my favorite quotes from Max is Bitcoin is God hacking humanity. And in another recent interview, he goes on to share, I am being proven more correct every day. The tsunami of fiat-enabled poverty is sweeping the globe. Bitcoin is a life raft that can take in anyone who wants to escape the fiat implosion and bond apocalypse. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Max Keiser, and massive respect to him. He is the first one publicly on TV along with Stacey Herbert, his partner in crime. Happy anniversary to the two, my favorite power couple in Bitcoin. But they've been telling us publicly on TV to buy Bitcoin back when it was only $1 in 2011, making them true Bitcoin OGs. How many of you have taken heed to Max and Stacey over the years? I came across them in 2017, and I am glad I did, because once I got orange pilled from Andreas Antonopoulos, I haven't looked back, and I never will ever again. And with that being shared, now let's dive into the live Q&A, and welcome to everyone out here in the live chat. It's good to see each and every one of you. Satwise Jenks, Bitcoin Trini, Michael Volkman, JH, Digital Dankness, Dragon Flower, Steve Kingston, Pezza. We've got a lot of the OGs here with us, which I love to see. Happy green candle morning. That's right. We started pumping because when I woke up, we were like 21.5, 21.6. CPI info release. Markets immediately started pumping at least a couple of percentage points, taking us above that 22,000 mark. Now, I hope we can surpass 25,000 resistance, because I feel once we do, 30,000 is going to become a magnet, and I cannot wait. You know what I mean? I appreciate everyone smashing the like and making sure you got notifications turned on, and especially if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on an episode and that you don't miss out on notifications. Just coming to the Bollinger Bands on the 5 minutes. Points out, selling with twins. Pezza brother, what's up? All good once we leave 22,000 behind us. Hopefully we do. Now, a lot of people were anticipating a potential massacre on St. Valentine's Day, but fortunately we got a pumpage, so I am very grateful here personally. Good to see you, Ron P. Job bless. That's what's up. I say no woman, no cry, no Bitcoin, no survive. So keep stacking them sats. Yeah, you feel me? $10 million incoming. God candle. Yes, please. Full send. In full effect. You feel me? The Bitcoin lifeboat slowly fill whilst most people laugh and say, fiat will never sink. Facts. They're in for quite the surprise, aren't they? J-Dub the Laker 24. Good morning, family. Good to see you as well. I want a Bitcoin cap too. Don't get them here. You just order it online, fam. You're not going to find these in the stores of Puerto Rico. Trust that. But you can go to Google, type in Bitcoin hat, pick up your favorite one. You know what I mean? And represent for the crew. Megadon says, good morning, crypto fam. Good day for stacking sats. Let's go. Absolutely a beautiful day. Same here. Last time I bought was Sunday, so selling with twins. I bought the dip on my birthday, which I'm ecstatic about. I think I paid like 21.6. So, hey, no complaints from me. Michael Volkman says, started the auto DCA some months ago to make a buy every Sunday morning. No work, lay the groundwork and watch. Pretty cool. What service are you using? Are you using, is it Swan Bitcoin where you can do the auto pay and set that? Let me know. Just curious. I don't care. We're in a bear market. Stack them. No emotion, says Lazarus Hand. Okay. Still in a bear market. Do you think that the bottom is in for the market? That's the $1 million question. Do you think 15.7 is likely the current cycle low, or do you feel we can retest that, potentially go even lower? Would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Bitcoin back at 18,000 again. And I'm going to guess anyone calling for an 18,000 Bitcoin right now missed the boat, and you have your sideline capital in stables or something, and you want to stack some Bitcoins on the low. Just note, if that never happens, you may have to purchase it at an even higher price than 22. What if we hypothetically pump to 25 to 30 and you're still expecting 18 and you miss out? It becomes what it is. You know what I mean? Kevin O'Leary is behind all of this. What a disgrace. You know what I mean? What a disgrace for Canada, right? He claims to be Canadian, so a disgrace for Canadians, because he was just the other day preaching how basically his success and money is more important than his mother, more important than his wife, more important than his dog. He's like, your dog, your wife, you can replace those people, but your success, you know what I mean? The guy is a joke. Probably one of the guys who helped bail Bankman-Fried out, which has not been disclosed as of yet. It wouldn't shock me one bit. I hate the guy now. I can't stand O'Leary. He's definitely a bad actor. I have no respect for him. I don't even like seeing his smirk any longer. That's just how I feel. You tell me how you really feel about O'Leary. And I feel the same damn way about Bankman-Fried. I feel the same damn way about Gensler. I'm sick of these clowns in our industry destroying it and them being able to get away with what they're doing. It's not cool at all. We have to call them out. You know what I mean? We got to do something about it. If we don't stick together, they'll continue to get away with these shenanigans. It'll just continue. You know what I mean? Let's call out all these bad actors. You know what I mean? BUSD is done for, says Dragonflower. Do you think it's the end? Wouldn't that be something? How do you think that would likely impact the BNB, the Binance coin price? And how do you think that could have a greater impact on crypto as a whole, especially centralized exchanges right now? You know what I mean? Holding 0 BUSD, thank goodness. Same here. I don't think I've ever held any BUSD, to be quite honest with you. Did they agree to stop issuing it, though? Yes, they did. Because they have to, or the SEC, iron fist, Gensler, in your butt. You know what I mean? CZ was on Twitter Spaces a few hours ago. Cool. Any good updates? Let me know. Calvin O'Leary doing some stuff. Who's Calvin O'Leary? Thanks, JV, for doing the research. You're very welcome. I have to go, but we'll watch the show later. Well, I appreciate you tuning in regardless. Thanks for the smash like. You the man. J-Dub, don't waste time with BS family. Bitcoin only, 100%. I still don't get the point of stablecoins. Seems like fiat with extra risk. Exactly what it is. It is fiat with extra risk. Here's why people in crypto use stablecoins, for those not in the know, is because every time you convert from crypto to fiat, for example, USD, there's a tax liability, especially if you have a positive trade. So to keep it in the ecosystem of crypto and to avoid that, taxable event, people like to keep their crypto in crypto. You know what I mean? Because the stablecoin, though it is a digital dollar, it's still considered crypto, and it doesn't make it a so-called taxable event. So that's probably the reason so many people use stables. And I'll give you a real-life example. When Bitcoin was crashing, say sub $20,000, and people anticipated an 8,000 Bitcoin, maybe they sold all of their Bitcoin or a portion of their Bitcoin, and they moved it into BUSD, Tether USDT, or Circle's USDC, and then said, hey, when we drop even lower, I'll just buy double the amount of Bitcoin back. Yeah, kudos. But unfortunately, things don't always work the way you have planned. You know what I mean? Things don't necessarily go according to plan. So be prepared for all scenarios. I've been preaching this for a long time. You know what I mean? Pezza, you can do swaps very easy with stables inside of wallets. Good point. Keeps it in the same ecosystem. Yeah, I don't really do swaps either, says Dragonflower. I just stack and hodl. I think a lot of my audience is probably in a similar boat. So by a show of hands, how many of you are just hodlers? You just hodl for the long haul, and over time, your crypto goes up. You know what I mean? Because you're a true hodler. That is the camp I'm in. I started hodling since 2017. I'm buying every opportunity that I have, and I'm not a trader. You know what I mean? Now the next question, how many of you are actually the opposite, and you're just maybe a day trader, a trend trader, and you're just looking for come-ups, trading, and maybe that's your job. Maybe you do this full time. You know what I mean? And you're just a day trader. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to go through them here. Every time I have sold Bitcoin, I have lived to regret it. I feel you, Volkman. I feel you. Once you start stacking sats, you can't stop. That's right. Facts. Sat-wise, I don't like ordinals. It should be a layer 2 or 3 network like Lightning so it doesn't flip an entire block or fill up the entire block. I guess you make a great point, and that's a part of Adam Back's theory on why he's not a fan. Pezza, it's addictive. It's like a massive game of hungry hippos. I remember that game. Classic. I think not stacking sats would be harder than when I quit smoking. Probably so. Bitcoin is definitely more addictive than nicotine. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, man, stacking sats becomes a way of life. Facts. Got to get sats before they kill off most of the on-ramps. Facts. Pezza, wife be like, we doing anything for Valentine's? Me? Stacking. Tell him. Lazarus, honestly, I want to make money. I believe in crypto, but I want to stick to it. Everyone who ridiculed me for buying Bitcoin and cryptos, exactly. I think you share a very similar sentiment of many of us. Valentine's Day date is just the ledger and a cup of coffee. Much love. That's what's up. My currency is losing to the dollar, so if I put money in stable coins, my money goes up in value. Sailing with Twins makes a great point. He's out there in South Africa. So any country right now which is experiencing hyperinflation, anything is better than the local currency, including stable coins. You know what I mean? Because at least they're pegged to the dollar, unlike your local currency. You make a great point. Digital Dankness, welcome. CoinFather says, I think we can see a $40,000 to $50,000 Bitcoin price this year in 2023. How many of you agree with CoinFather and would be pretty ecstatic to witness $40,000 to $50,000 Bitcoin price? I can't wait. And don't forget, once Bitcoin smashes 6 figures, we're going to have a party down here in Puerto Rico. So 50,000 is the halfway mark. We may have to add an additional party for the diehards. You know what I mean? What do you say? Yeah, Leary O'Leary. Leary of O'Leary. Exactly. Hey, bro, hope you're doing good. What's your predictions of potential bull run in 2023? I think there's obviously a possibility. I look at everything as probabilities. If anyone tells you with 100% certainty, Bitcoin will do XYZ, run the other way. I think we have a probability that we can pump to 30 to 50,000. It could happen. I'd say maybe a 50% chance if I'm just throwing a number at the top of my head, which I am. And I'd say there's another 50% chance that we just trade sideways and more boring sideways action. But it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I'm very optimistic that after the next halving in 2024, so between 2024 and 2025, considering it's the year after the halving when the market goes parabolic, I think we're going to witness the high for this cycle. I don't think we see the high for this cycle this year, but could it potentially still play out? Yeah, but I'd say a lower probability, maybe 10 to 20% probability that we get a new all-time high this year. But that's just me speaking out loud, thinking out loud, and hopefully you appreciate the answer. But let me know what you guys think and gals in the comments right down below. You know what I mean? I've never cared for Kevin. Word. And also my least favorite shark from Shark Tank. I've been a big fan of the show for a long time, but I've always just not liked or resonated with O'Leary. Just throwing it out there. The guy just seems like a crook. You know what I mean? And I appreciate the super chat contributions. You guys are amazing. Late to JV, but not late for BTC is the way to be. With JV, you get a second chance. Facts. Thanks for tuning in, Pezza. J-Dub says, thanks, JV, and happy belated birthday, brother. That's right. I just turned the big 4-0 on February 11th. I share a special day with my daughter for the birthday, and I appreciate that very, very much. So thank you, fam. You're the man. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Bondpocalypse, Max is right. It will pump Bitcoin like crazy. Agreed. Dragon is better. People didn't know what Bitcoin was back in the day. It would have gotten gobbled up. Yeah, imagine if like people like Bukele and Michael Saylor were early adopters of Bitcoin, say like in 2011. You know what I mean? Well, I guess Bitcoin would be gobbled up, but the price action would be that much higher because it would be that much more scarce and that much more difficult for you to get your hands on it. You know what I mean? And Peterin, I appreciate it, bro. Go get it. Let's all meet in Asia when Bitcoin hits $100,000. Well, I'm going to guess you're in Asia. Which country in Asia are you in? I've actually spent 13 months in China back in the day, 2010, 2011. So I've lived in Asia. I spent some time in Thailand and in Bali. And I'd say my favorite Asian countries thus far, definitely not China. That's my least favorite. But Thailand is the bomb. And Bali is a great place to be as well. So curious where you're at. Let me know. And I appreciate the super chat contribution. See you in Thailand, bruh. Says, unschool yourself. Great place to be. And especially with the favorable cannabis laws they introduced last year, makes it a no-brainer. Ellen says O'Leary O'Liar is a crook, and he is trying to destroy Bitcoin crypto with BlackRock. Yeah, he's like a partner in crime with Bankman-Fried and Gary Gensler. That's how I look at them all in the same camp. Trust none of them. Peter, haha, just got back from Thailand. I want to go there with this community. Yeah, Thailand is the bomb diggity. Which places in Thailand, like what cities did you visit? I remember my favorite place was Chiang Mai, a local city. We also went to the Phi Phi Islands where they shot the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio. It was a pretty cool spot. Went to some other spots too. We also went to Chiang Rai to visit the White Temple, which was pretty cool. Then we went to some tourist cities as well. I wasn't as big a fan of, just FYI. Yeah, man. I spent a month in Thailand, says Ellen. Isn't it a wonderful place? I just love the culture. I love the people. I love the temples. You know what I mean? Just great vibes all around. Recreational weed in Thailand. Hallelujah. About time, right? Yeah, Chiang Mai is home, baby. Wow, that was my favorite city. Is that where you currently live, unschool yourself? Let me know. That was like literally my favorite place when we visited. So, northern, okay. Phi Phi is pronounced Phi. No kidding. Okay, so it's the Phi Phi Islands. Well, the water is amazing. It's so crystal clear there. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, back when I visited Thailand, they had no positive cannabis laws, but as of last year, recreational cannabis is now the law. It's now allowed. And I think it's amazing, as most Asian countries have no favorable cannabis laws whatsoever. So I at least expect it coming from Asian countries. So Thailand is just on a whole different level. And I think it's smart. It's going to attract a lot more tourism and stuff like that. Look at places like Amsterdam. And if I heard correctly, are they trying to ban cannabis in Amsterdam out of all the things you could ban in that crazy place? Can't make this stuff up, folks. Yeah, man. Been there, was amazing, says Coinfather. So it sounds like we all agree. I live in the U.S. and in Thailand. Cool. So I would imagine you're a U.S. citizen and you visit Thailand or have a place there you like to go visit, maybe a part of the year. Let me know. I love the food, JV. Yeah, the thing I miss about Thailand is the food as well. Being a vegetarian, very vegetarian friendly. I love the fried rice. I love when they serve the rice in the freaking pineapple, how amazing that is. And I just miss the huge coconuts, just like in Costa Rica. They had amazing fresh coconuts, and I can drink 3 of those babies a day, like my favorite thing. You know what I mean? I never paid attention to crypto. I was really stupid, as I've realized. I'm a full-time freelance video editor, been working hard all these years and never invested. Now started in January of 2023. Hope is good. Wasim, I will tell you straight up, you'll get involved, which you just did this year, at the perfect time for you. You know what I mean? And it's not too late. I think it's a great time. It's a deja vu moment, because the price action right now is reminiscent of almost 6 years ago. Back in December of 2017, we surpassed 20,000 as an all-time high for the first time, which was the high for that cycle. And now, almost 6 years later, you have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin at the same price it was almost 6 years ago. So I'd say it's a hell of a time to get in and enjoy the ride and never look back. Keep stacking them sats. And be weary of ish coins, which are trying to take your money, trying to take your Bitcoin and give you garbage, horse poop in exchange. So just be careful out there and do your own research. I don't know about weed in Asia. Make driving worse? Question mark. Man, they don't follow any of the rules on the roads whatsoever in Asia. It's like, you know, fend for yourself. Phuket, that's the place. That was the tourist city I visited. I remember the massages out there. I love Thai massages. They're amazing. But it was very touristy, Phuket, but I still enjoyed it. Pattaya, Kapsok, I can't pronounce these babies. Phi Phi, Krabi, and Bonchuri. Well, I appreciate the super chat contribution. Are those your favorite cities in Thailand? Let me know, Peter. Ellen says, I went for the colored stones and diamonds. I am a buyer. Steve says, I awesome once in Bitcoin. You will probably never turn back if you understand it. That's right. As Sailor says, you got to do your research, at least 10,000 hours. One of the best books out there is going to be The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous. Definitely read that if you haven't. If you're not a reader, check out the audiobook. I'm sure you could even find it online for free, but it's definitely worth it. And you need to knowledge yourself about Bitcoin, and you need to, then you can feel confident to share it with others because you actually know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Just be conservative on your investing. I encourage at least 5% income in Bitcoin, but myself, I put nearly 20%, and I have a pension I pay as well. I put all of my income in Bitcoin. I'm that much of a diehard believer, but I'm probably one of the crazy ones. So, you know what I mean? You got to do what's comfortable with you at the end of the day. Never take investment advice from a YouTuber or anyone whatsoever. Look at your situation, write down what's best for you and make a plan, accordingly, because we're all in different situations. You know what I mean? I put every dime I get into Bitcoin, very little into fiat. I'm the same way, Ellen. I have just enough to pay my bills, to maintain my life. I don't want to be using CBDCs when they're launched. I'm going to be strictly on the Bitcoin protocol. I refuse to participate in that BS. You know what I mean? I started buying Bitcoin on August 3rd, 2017. Congratulations, Steve Hubbs. That was the good old days. Bitcoin was roughly $2,000. That's what's up. Yeah, man. At $27.98 per Bitcoin. Score. Winning. Lazarus, gig apps have given me a taste of freedom. I hate my W-2 job now. Now I want to be totally my own boss, and I feel I can do it. I believe in you, Lazarus. You can do it. You got this. Don't look back. Do what you got to do. Think about the future of your family, the future of humanity, and we fully support you here from Crypto News Alerts. Bitcoin equals freedom. Preach. You ain't telling no lies. Start ditching that dirty fiat. I agree with you, fam. It's a game-changing technology and payment system. Facts. And now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. We discuss the latest Bitcoin price action, returning to 22,000 despite the least volatile US CPI reaction, which just came out at 6.4%. We also discussed the latest and greatest with Paxos categorically disagreeing with the SEC that BUSD is a security, as well as Binance withdrawals and BUSD redemption surge post Paxos crackdown. We also discussed a new record for Bitcoin with addresses hitting 44 million, which is a new record thanks to Ordinals. And also we discussed major news, crypto payments firm Wirex and Visa expansion partnership to 40 countries. We also discussed the latest from Adam Back, the Blockstream CEO, with his $200 trillion Bitcoin market cap prediction, along with a $10 million Bitcoin price action, and also shared with you a throwback from Bitcoin OG Max Keiser on how he bought Bitcoin for only $1 in 2011 and why Bitcoin is like the Mona Lisa. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right